Hey everyone, let's start with summarizing emails. So with my Outlook open, I'm opening this longer email thread here. Click email. And up at the top, you'll see the Copilot option. I'm going to click summarize. Summary loads. And after a few seconds, Copilot gives me a breakdown of the key points, action items, unanswered questions, and the general context of the conversation. This is genuinely useful when you've been stuck in meetings all morning and come back to 2700 emails. And honestly, this is quite a significant shift for basic Copilot chat users because until recently, a lot of these in-app experiences weren't really available. For basic users, Copilot also doesn't automatically understand your work context unless you provide it. So features like this finally start making inbox management feel much more practical inside Outlook itself. So for this next feature, I'm first going to click into another email conversation. Then up in the top right corner, you'll see the Copilot icon with a few suggested prompts underneath it. And these might differ for yourself. One of the suggested prompts here is find key takeaways. So I'm going to click that option. And this is useful because a lot of people don't really have time to read every single message in long email threads anymore, especially when you're jumping between meetings, Teams chats, and project work all day. So instead of manually trying to piece together what actually matters, you can use the suggested prompts to pull out the main points, decisions, and context. Now from here, I can continue the conversation with Copilot instead of starting again from scratch. So underneath the summary, I'm going to select the follow-up prompt to draft a reply and share my thoughts on the conversation. And this is where I think Copilot becomes more practical for real work days. Because once you already understand the context of the email, the next step is usually figuring out how to respond professionally and clearly. Especially on busy days when you know what you want to say, but you just don't want to spend another 15 minutes writing the email from scratch. And what I like here is that I can keep working with the draft instead of manually rewriting parts of the email myself. So, for example, I'm going to ask Copilot to improve this response by adding a line asking about the next steps. And I feel this is much more natural for real workplace use because most people aren't trying to fully automate communication. They just want help refining emails faster without losing their own voice. And once I'm happy with the response, I can scroll down and select the edit and send option here. And what Outlook does now is open the full drafted email directly inside the normal Outlook. So at this point, it feels just like a regular email draft inside Outlook. I can still make any final edits, double check the tone, add extra details straight away here. This is probably the most workflow I see professionals using in Copilot to speed up the drafting process while still keeping that final human review before clicking send. All right, let's look at another practical feature for busy workdays, managing your schedule and managing a little more easily. So I'm going to switch over to the calendar view, then open Copilot again from the top right corner. And one of the suggested prompts here is about finding the next one-on-one meeting with someone. So I'll select that prompt and just type the person's name and enter. And now Copilot searches through my calendar and meeting information to find the next scheduled one-on-one meeting. It also gives useful information like when the meeting is, the meeting details, and related information connected to that conversation. And honestly, this is helpful because a lot of people spend more time than they realize manually searching through their calendars for emails and Teams chats, trying to prepare for meetings. So having that context surfaced quickly in one place can make the workday feel a little less fragmented. Now, this next feature is one I think a lot of busy professionals will quietly appreciate. So back in Calendar, I'm opening Copilot again, and this time I'm going to use the suggested prompt to find and schedule some focus time. Because honestly, once your calendar starts filling up with meetings, it gets surprisingly difficult to find uninterrupted time to actually do the work. So here, Copilot gives me a few focus time preferences to choose from. I'll pick the option that works best for my schedule, and now Copilot goes away, finds available time in my calendar, and automatically adds that focus time in for me. And this is the kind of feature that feels small at first, but can genuinely help create a bit more structure during busy work weeks. And for this final feature, I want to show you something that feels a bit more like having a lightweight assistant in Outlook. So I'm going to enter a prompt asking Copilot to review my inbox and identify the top priorities I need to focus on and submit the response. So Copilot comes back with the top priorities it thinks need attention based on the inbox context. Now, from here, something really interesting is that I can hover over the original prompt and select Schedule Prompt. And this is useful because instead of manually asking the same question every morning, you can automate it to run on a schedule, almost like a daily briefing for your inbox. So now I can choose when it runs, what time, how often, and whether I want email reminders turned on. I'm going to leave the email reminder option turned on, and now the schedule is active. And once it's created, I can manage it from here as well. So if I open the three dots menu, I can edit the schedule, adjust settings, pause it, or run it immediately. So I'm going to do a quick test run now. And after a few moments, the email arrives in my inbox with a link to the results. So I'll click the link, and now I can see the top 3 priorities Copilot identified from my inbox activity. And this is a good example of where workplace AI can genuinely help, not by replacing your work, but by helping reduce the mental load of organizing information and deciding where to focus first. So, those are a few Copilot Outlook features that can make busy workdays feel a little more manageable.